There are moments when everything around you keeps moving, but something inside goes still. The world stays loud, fast, alive, but within you there's silence. And that's when the void appears, not as an enemy, not as absence, but as a mirror. A mirror that doesn't show what you have. It shows everything you've lost. The void is not the opposite of life. It's what remains when life stops speaking. When the body keeps going, but meaning slips away. When you do what you hate, supposed to smile when you should, but deep down, nothing moves. It's in that pause between one breath and the next that the void arrives, and maybe it's the most honest part of being alive. We spend our whole lives running from it. We fill the hours with distractions, the silence with noise, the heart with the wrong people. But the void always returns. It hides in the in-betweens, when the phone dies, when the house is quiet, when the night stretches too long. Maybe what we call boredom is just the void asking to be heard. We've been taught to fear it, to believe that feeling empty means failing, that being alone means broken, that silence is a waste of time. But the void is none of that. It's the space where the essential finally speaks. Only when everything else goes quiet can we truly hear what matters. The void cleans. It gives things their true weight again. Maybe the void is life's way of saying, look inward, because there's nothing new out there for you right now. The truth is, it doesn't come to punish you. It comes to make room. The void is the gap between who you were and who you're not yet ready to become. It's the ground before the next seed, the silence before the next song. And yes, it's frightening, because when the noise disappears, what's left is you. Bare, unmasked. No applause, no guidance, no guarantees. That's when you realize loneliness isn't the absence of people. It's the absence of direction. The void is neutral, neither good nor bad, but it demands courage to cross. The people who truly grow are the ones who stop running from their silence. To be at peace with the void is to accept that life includes pauses, waiting, and empty spaces. Meaning isn't something you find ready-made, it's something you weave out of what's missing. In the end, the void teaches what no excess can, that the essential takes up no space. It's not about how much you have, but how much you can live without. Whoever can endure the void learns to be whole, even when alone, learns that absence doesn't destroy, it refines. So next time silence feels heavy, don't fill it. Listen, because maybe for the first time, it's you finally speaking to yourself.
Freedom. It's a word we all love. A word that sounds like open roads and endless skies. But here's a secret most people don't tell you. Real freedom, when it first arrives, rarely feels beautiful. In fact, it often feels like loss. It feels like the heavy silence after a thunderous round of applause suddenly stops. From a distance, we imagine freedom as this brilliant, shining light. But when you finally step into it, you realize it casts long, dark shadows. Why? Because to be truly free, you have to let go of living for the applause. And that means giving up the warm, cozy comfort of always being understood. We're raised on this fairy tale idea that freedom is just doing whatever you want, whenever you want. But that's not the whole story. The real journey to freedom begins the moment you stop doing what everyone else expects of you. And that, my friends, is where the pain often begins. The second you start living from your own inner truth, you'll notice a gap forming, a distance growing between you and the people who loved the old version of Yutha, one who always played along. They loved the you who nodded, who smiled, who fit perfectly into their pre-written story. But the you who dares to live differently. They don't always like that person, and so you start to walk a path that feels a little more solitary. You begin to question the clubs you joined, the circles you ran in, the places you used to feel you belonged. And it hurts. It really hurts, because belonging feels safe. It feels comfortable, even when the price is your own authenticity. This is the core reason why freedom can feel so painful. It forces you to make a choice, a really tough one. Do you want peace, or do you want approval? Most of us don't realize that you can't have both for very long. You can spend your entire life being the person everyone wants you to be, and you'll be surrounded by people. Or you can start the journey of becoming who you truly are. One choice keeps you surrounded. The other keeps you whole. To be free means accepting a hard truth. Some people will stop recognizing you. They'll call you distant or strange. They'll say, "You've changed." And you know what? They'll be right. You have changed. You've stopped living inside the narrative they wrote for you. You've stopped performing for an audience that, if you're being honest, never really saw the real you anyway. This is the quiet revolution that every truly free person goes through. It's not about causing chaos or rebelling just for the sake of it. It's a return to your own truth. It asks the profound realization that you don't need anyone else's permission to exist as yourself. When you stop desperately seeking validation from the outside world, you start to notice how incredibly peaceful the silence can be. There's no one clapping, no one watching. It's just you, breathing, present, alive. And in that quiet, something magical begins to shift inside you. You realize that this solitude isn't loneliness. It's space. It's precious, open space. Space to think. Space to feel. Space to remember who you were before the world handed you a script and told you who to be. See, freedom isn't the end of belonging. It's the beginning of belonging to yourself. It's not the end of love. It's the beginning of loving yourself enough not to trade your soul for comfort. I won't lie to you. It's not an easy path. You will lose people. You will lose praise. You will lose that feeling of being admired by the crowd. But what you gain is infinitely more valuable. You will gain your own voice. That inner voice becomes your compass. It's the guide that leads you home to yourself. It's the quiet whisper that tells you when something feels wrong, and the gentle nudge when something feels right. And for the first time in your life, you begin to trust it more than all the noise and opinions swirling around you. Freedom isn't a victory march with trumpets and confetti. It's a quiet, steady walk away from everything that is false. And the longer you walk, the lighter you become. You start to see that what you thought you lost were just the walls of a cage. And what you gained was the entire sky. Have you ever felt like your entire world was falling apart? Like the ground beneath your feet suddenly vanished, leaving you in a free fall? That's often the moment truth decides to make its entrance. There's something almost cruel about the truth. It doesn't knock politely. It doesn't care if you're having a good day or a bad one. It storms into your life, and in a single, deafening moment, everything you thought was solid, everything you believed defined you, is scattered like dust. We've all heard the saying, "The truth will set you free." It sounds so simple, so liberating, but what they don't tell you, what they conveniently leave out, is the part that comes before freedom. They forget to mention the collapse, the utter confusion, the gut-wrenching silence that descends when your carefully constructed illusions begin to crack and fall away. You see, truth doesn't liberate you immediately. First, it dismantles you. It systematically rips away the comfort of the stories you've told yourself for years, the roles you've played, the little white lies you needed just to get through the detail of it gets torn down. When you finally start to see things as they truly are, not as you wish they were, a kind of existential vertigo sets in. It's disorienting. You start to notice the fragility of everything, how temporary and uncertain it all is. You begin to understand that much of what we call stability is really just habit, a routine we cling to, and that your identity, your beliefs, your daily rituals. Maybe they were just walls you built to protect yourself from a truth that felt too raw, too big to face. Let's be honest, the truth isn't pretty at first glance. It doesn't stroke your ego or whisper sweet affirmations. It doesn't pat you on the back and tell you that you were right all along. No, it does the opposite. It shines a glaring spotlight on your contradictions, your deepest fears, your hidden motives. And when that happens, it hurts. It hurts deeply. Because for truth to exist, illusion must die. And we, humans, we are creatures addicted to our illusions. We crave a world that makes sense. We desperately want our pain to have some profound meaning, to be part of a grander plan. We want to believe that everything happens for a reason. But here's the kicker. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes life just happens without a clear reason, without fairness, without any sense of order. And that chaotic, terrifyingly neutral space, that's where truth lives. It's so much easier to stay asleep, wrapped in the warm blanket of comforting lies. To believe that everything is fine, that you're in control, that love is always pure, and that the good guys always win in the end. But deep down, in that quiet place you rarely visit, you know it's not that simple. You know that reality doesn't bend to your desires. It doesn't care about your comfort. It only cares about what asterisk is asterisk. The truth disorganizes your life because it shatters the illusion of control. It's a stark reminder that you are not the master of the universe, that you can't force life to follow your perfectly laid out plans. And once you see that, once you truly accept it, something fundamental inside you begins to shift. It's not freedom that comes first. It's the breakdown. It's the feeling of being completely lost, the suffocating uncertainty, the heavy silence after the storm has passed. It can feel like the end. But what if it's not? If you can find the courage to stay there, in that uncomfortable, chaotic space, to just breathe through the discomfort without running away, a quiet, unshakable strength begins to form. Because once the illusion is gone, you're left with something real. It might be raw, unpolished, and even a little scary. But it's real. You stop trying to fix everything and everyone. You start to listen more, to observe, to accept things as they are. And slowly, brick by brick, you begin to build a new life, one that doesn't depend on lies to stay standing. This new foundation is solid. It's authentic. It's yours. The truth doesn't give you peace right away. It gives you clarity. And clarity can feel painful at first because it reveals everything you've been avoiding. But clarity is also the birthplace of wisdom. It's the moment you stop running from yourself and finally start living consciously, intentionally. So, if you find yourself in the middle of chaos right now, if everything you once believed in is crumbling around you, don't rush to rebuild. Don't panic. Take a breath. Maybe this isn't a catastrophe. Maybe this is what liberation truly looks like. Not the fleeting joy of being right, but the deep, lasting serenity of being honest with yourself. The truth will disorganize you before it sets you free. It will break you open so that you can truly see. And once you've seen once, you've really, truly seen, you can never go back to sleep again. You wouldn't want to.